Welcome back to the video series on how to spar with daggers. Today we're going to go through do an analysis of the guards, the measure and the attacks, and then when we're done with that we're going to do some couple exercises that teach you how to do this, how to apply it in sparring, and then we're going to get into sparring. Alright, so first off, let's go through the Meyers 4 guards. Meyer has guard number 1 is all the hook. Now you'll see my hand is straight up, and either my hand is here, my offhand is here, or here. It's straight forward towards you, it's here. In some earlier Lichtenauer, it might look more like this. There's a good reason not to do that, because it opens you up for a certain specific counter. However, what I've noticed is that most people can do this without fencing jackets, but with fencing jackets it tends to be like this in the end anyway. So this is a lofty goal, and try to keep it there. If you can, it will end up here, and that's probably okay. But just keep in mind this is possible to counter because of this angle. I'll show you how later on. Unterhau, here, hand down here, point forward, rotating the shoulder forward, and Mittelhut, which is here, usually with a hand behind. But if I show it towards you, the dagger is either here or here. Now, what do these guards do? Well, they serve a few purposes. One of the purposes it serves is to keep my opponent into fechten. Right? So if I'm keeping it here, the threat of this point, this point, this point, and of course this is the Kreuzhut, which is just a version of Unterhut, if you like. Sometimes perhaps explained as here. I think it's actually here now. I can change my mind a little bit from earlier, but I don't think it makes a huge difference. And what you do, the threat of the point is what keeps the opponent into fechten. Because anytime he moves into distance, you see here, by rotating my shoulders into the strike and either leaning a bit forward or actually taking half a step forward here, I can threaten anything within this circle. So he has to stay outside of this area where I threaten him. He has to stay outside of that. It's effective. Same here. He has to stay here, here. He has to stay away, right? I force my opponent to keep at this distance. That's good. At the same time, I got this question, you see. Somebody said, what's the good thing about doing this instead of just holding it like a fencer? By holding it like a fencer, I'm assuming they mean like a rapierist. The answer to that is quite simply that you want to present one coherent target, not provide your opponent with more targets. So if I'm standing here and I hold my hand forward, yeah, I might actually keep my opponent at a further distance in thinking, but I'm also providing my opponent with another target. Now, if this was a rapier, I would have a very long blade and quite complex hilt that would defend my hand. These discs, even though they protect the hands a little bit, they offer nothing in the way of this. So if I put my hand forward like this becomes a target, both for his weapon, but also for his offhand, perhaps even more important thing. So all the guards, they serve the purpose of keeping, see, at this point when I'm threatening, I'm also keeping my hand as far back as possible, so that actually my head is a more juicy target than my weapon. And the reason for this is because, of course, at the point where my opponent has the most reach, it will be here. Right now, I'm at my most extended reach because I will have most reach straight out from my shoulders, right? So by keeping the dagger hand lower than that, higher than that, or here lower than that, at the same time posing a threat, I'm telling him, there's nothing you gain from attacking the hand that you wouldn't gain from attacking the head. So you become one coherent target. That's important. Second function, or third function if you like, is that you cannot, if you want to be completely defensive, let's just say you wanted to create a defense that was the best you could do, The problem with this is that if you think you've completely defended yourself, your opponent will attack in the holes in your defense that you didn't think about. Instead, the guards say, okay, I'm fairly protected, but I'm leaving one side open. Look, this quadrant is where I'm open. I'm not open here, that's not a good place to be. I'm not really open in the legs. Here, this side, upper left quadrant. If I put my hand down here and rotate my shoulders in, it's actually presenting my back as a juicy target. So he should attack from this side, is basically what I'm saying, right? And with this, I can decide whether I keep it here, this side, or here. I'm offering this side. With this, I'm also doing the same as the input I'm offering this side. If I put it here, I'm a bit more, I'm actually not presenting a very obvious target, except attacks directly from above, which are quite seldom in dagger. So, offering targets, but also keeping it dangerous, yeah? I want to create this, I call this the danger zone, right? Here, anytime he enters this, he has to think about there is an actual threat to his life. He has to deal with that. Okay? So, starting, when I give him one option which is slightly less defended, he's probably going to go for it, hopefully. And we're going to exercise on that in a minute. Okay, so that was the guards. Now, because I'm keeping my opponent in Sufechten, that is why the attacks are long. Because if I'm in Sufechten and I want to get in, I have to maximize the reach of my attacks in order to get in with as little threat to myself as possible. Because if somebody's threatening, if I'm threatening in this area and somebody comes in and tries to attack like this, he's going to get hit in the head far before he manages to land that, or she manages to land a strike themselves. So longest reach wins. It's like with a spear. It's like fighting, if somebody fights like this, or here, compared to this, I'm at the, it's like I have a longer weapon because my reach of my attacks are better. Okay, so the attacks that I use, I think I've gone through this before, but I'll repeat it for your convenience. I use 7 attacks. These are identified throughout Meyers manuals. These are the attacks that are most common, and they're not, most of them aren't explained in and of themselves, but they are explained in context. So you see that these are the ones that he provides defenses for, etc. So what you'll see is, and also it follows his basic idea about angles. So you'll see I do an attack here, an attack here. So from the right to the left, like a Zornbrück. Sorry. Same on the other side. Middle. So the middle line, yeah. Middle line, unter, and straight thrust. Now from this side, I cannot do unter because I cannot get here. So here I add the pommel strike. Towards you, I have Zorn, Mittel, unter, straight thrust, hoppa, almost got my balance, straight thrust, and pommel strike. Sometimes with the straight thrust, I said that my hand is behind here when I'm standing in the mid hook. I sometimes add this hand behind to get in a full thrust, and sometimes I'm striking first and then hammering after, called the anvil thrust. So these are your main attacks, and of course we're going to put them into footwork, and I'm going to show you how with a partner. But these are the ones that you're going to use. And these are keyed in on being in Sufechten. That's why they look the way they do. The guards keep in Sufechten. The attacks allow you to attack from Sufechten. If you don't hold these guards, you're not keeping, or if you don't hold a guard that keeps your opponent in Sufechten, he's going to come closer. If you don't use the attacks in the extended manner, your attacks will not land from Sufechten before your opponent actually manages to counter you. Okay, we're going to look at this in partners. Okay, so he has his guards, and I can't step in here because then I'm going to die. So I'm going to right now we're starting off with chasing. He's going to give me his openings, and I'm going to attack the openings, and he's not going to defend them. He's just going to allow me to take them. So here we're going to move. So he's presenting an opening, and as he, oh no, he's presenting this opening. Now it's this one. I'll go in here. Yeah, nope, that one. Yeah. Okay, no, I can go here. I can go here. No, yep. I have an opening here. I have an opening here. I have an opening here. Yeah. And then once you found the openings, he's going to deny me entrance. Nope, I can't. Nope. Nope. Nope, no, I can't. Yeah. Nope. Doesn't work. Nope, nope. Doesn't work. You see? And then of course we can play, sometimes he allows me and sometimes he doesn't. So I learned to see when is there an opening, when is there no, that's not an opening, that's an opening. Right? So he's denying me the entrance. Now he's going to give me it. So he allows me to get in. And you'll do a triangle step out and attack into the space where I am going. So very slowly, I'm attacking here. He's moving out of the way and attacking where I went in. Right? I'm coming in. Oops. Yep. Coming in. Oh. Does it from another one, from the Unter. So I'm coming here, and he's coming here. From Mickey. You see, you can choose which one he goes. Yeah, he gives me this one. Nope, that doesn't work. Yeah. Now we can add these together. So you can deny me, allow me, and sometimes counter me. Nope. Yep. Nope, those. Yep. Yep. Now I've given him a toolbox. How to what are his openings, how to cover them, how to invite me in, and sidestep. So now if I want to take the enter, I have to kind of break his guard. He's learned how to use his guard. I will try to break it, and this is where Meyers' idea of provoker, taker, hitter comes in. So I come here, see, for example, I come here, yep, see, I provoke an action and then I treat it as an attack, because that's what it is. This is enough. The moment the hand is forward, up here, it's really hard. You see, actually his face is closer to me than his hand. So the moment I step in, I have it's starting to come closer. This is the reason why I don't stand like a fencer. If he was like this, I go boom, and I go in. This is incidentally also why I don't stand like this. If he's standing like this, it's the first thing I'm gonna do. Also, I can just go in and thrust here. It's very easy to attack somebody who's standing like this, so you don't want to stand like this. Present a difficult, my target is now his head or his body. His hand is just an obstacle. So if I can get it past it. Now of course he can return his punch shots. Yeah. Now he can make it more advanced. He can counter me as I counter him. Yeah. You see? Now we're actually into techniques. See? All the rest I need to know now is that if I block him this way, I roll this way. If I block this way, I roll inward. If I block outwards, I cut in. If I block from the outside, I go this way. And if I block from underneath, I'll go straight in. And I can hook. You see,
I can do all these hooking things. That's it. But those things are the easy part. The hooking part, that's easy. I will feed him now. So, he's going to enter me. Yeah, and that's it.